All right, back in the studio. I'm actually here with the original host of Nerdy Bones, the co-host of Nerdy Bones, Nick. What's up, brother?
That's me. Hey, how you doing, man?
It's been too long and too far in between to have you on the show.
Yeah, man. I mean, life keeps you busy.
Yeah.
You know?
So what's been new?
Not much. I've been spending a lot of time in the Warhammer community.
Nice,
playing
dude. Nice.
some Warhammer. Getting involved with those guys. Working a lot. Going to
Yeah.
Vegas.
Well, you're working at Amazing Discoveries, which
yeah.
I'm jealous on that, dude. Like, I work in a kitchen.
yeah. I mean, you probably wouldn't have been jealous this last weekend. We had the new release for the Magic set.
No.
Over the course of 3 days.
What was the name of that again?
War of the Spark.
War of the Spark. Okay.
Over the course of 3 days, we had 400 people in our store. In between all the stores, we had like 1,000. So it was just so many people. And then this weekend, I'm so glad I'm not working this Saturday. I don't know how I got this off, but we're hosting like 100-person Super Smash Brothers tournament.
What?
And,
dude, oh my God.
Like, that sounds really cool, but it also just sounds so loud. Like, because there's 100 people in the building. Everybody's got to have a TV. So you got 50 TVs. Nobody's muting their TV.
Right.
So it's just,
oh my God.
like,
man.
just so much noise. Like, I imagine it's like being inside a casino. Like,
well, yeah,
when you
yeah.
hear all like the machines going off.
Have you ever been to a casino before?
Yeah, I mean, I just went to Vegas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about that.
It was good. We got a little lost going into Vegas. We like missed a turn, so we ended
I
up.
got lost driving home from Vegas.
We did that too. But no, getting to Vegas, we got into Vegas fine, and then we didn't like our hotel was a block off the strip, and so like we didn't turn on the strip because I was like, well, that's gonna be real bad for traffic.
Yeah.
Then we just didn't make that next turn for some reason, and then just like ended up in like just Vegas.
Yeah.
Which I was like, are we sure we're just not in Tucson? Like, so many of the strip malls look the same,
Right.
like generic nail salon.
It's just another city.
Yeah, and like it's just the strip mall's just generic nail salon. A place that's not Sam, it sells food. You're pretty sure, but it's not like a name brand thing. And then like,
some place to sell your liver. Or
yeah.
Some bathtubs like chests and stuff like that.
Well, that was funny too because we were at the hotel. It's a casino, obviously, and we walked through the front, and there's this big sign that's like, "Cash your check here for a chance to win extra like casino bucks or whatever." And it's like, well, I can just give my paycheck to the casino, and and it's like, I'm sure like that a lot of places do it, but then right next to that sign is a sign that says like, take this pamphlet to help with your gambling addiction.
Oh, really?
Which I'm sure is like illegally, like, probably you have to have so many of those per like square feet if you're a casino or whatever. But yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to give you an opportunity to gamble, but don't gamble so much.
Yeah.
Like, we'll sell you some beer, but don't drink.
Yeah. And it's like, if you have a problem, take this pamphlet. If not, go to the left. Like,
that's right. Yeah, go to the left. Like, if you're here to have fun, go to the right. If you got a problem, go to the left.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But, yeah, we got there. We like our hotel had like 5 restaurants in it.
Really? What was the hotel?
Oh God, the Palms.
The Palms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was part of like the Gold Coast Network.
Did you see that building that has the Harley Davidson sticking out of it?
No.
Yeah, I remember specifically seeing that. I don't know if it's even still there.
I got that backwards. We stayed in the Gold Coast, and the concert we saw was at the Palms.
Oh,
but technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm back, guys. I'm back.
But yeah, we went to this like really nice Asian restaurant inside the hotel.
That's cool. You didn't have to go anywhere.
Didn't have to go anywhere. Hotel was nice. Concert was great.
Yeah. What was the concert?
We went to Ozier.
Nice.
He was really good. I've been to a handful of concerts. He definitely has like some of the most energy I've seen in anybody, and just 100% the most humble person I've ever seen. Like,
did you get to meet him?
No, but like we were on like the pit basically. So there was like only like 4 or 5 like bodies in between him and us.
That's cool.
It was really cool. And like every chance he got, he like thanked everybody who was on stage.
Cool, man. That's cool.
He thanked the person who opened for him, Jade Bird.
Tell the audience about her, man. You show me her stuff.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard her, she's such a like tiny person. I don't think she's over like 5 feet. And she just
good voice. Good
she
voice.
just belts it out. Oh my God, this microphone of his.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
Yeah, we went into this concert, and it's a huge concert hall. And we're in the pit, and there's just 300 people behind us. And she comes out on stage, and she's just 5 foot nothing, and the whole stage is set up to be played by 10 people.
Right.
And she's just like, okay, I'm going to play my songs now. And she's
just acoustic too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, her guitar was acoustic.
So she didn't have a band behind?
No, it was just her.
That's
and
crazy.
She
man.
belted it out, and she was like, "Yeah, I lost a bunch of money in Vegas already," and it was pretty good. Then he came on and he did really good.
If you guys haven't heard Hosier, definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely.
he's really good too. My favorite part was they had everybody leave the stage except for him and the guy who plays piano.
Oh wow!
Because the song they were doing was "Wasteland Baby," and that song is only him on the guitar and the piano. And he looks around and he's like, wow, we have so much space for activities.
So much space for activities.
I was like, that's good. Are you quoting Step Brothers?
We should go into the garage and do some karate.
Yeah. And then there was one where he's trying to explain one of his songs, and everybody's just too enthusiastic for the song.
Oh my God.
Because he's like, yeah, this is a song about a predatory bird. And everybody just loses it because everybody knows what the song is already. And he's like, yeah, there's a little bird called a shrike, and everybody loses it because that's the name of the song. And he's like, yeah, and it takes animals and puts them on fences and butchers them. And it's really, really disgusting and really vile.
We've talked about this before, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, and so I decided to make a love song about it. And he just goes off and... But it was really cool.
What would you say is the best concert you've ever been to?
I mean, that was hands down the best concert.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the other ones I've been to have more like compilation events, I guess. The KFMA days and the... Right. We're going to be here for 12 hours. And there's going to be 6 different bands playing. I don't know if you don't get the same kind of show from one of those because...
it's different.
Yeah, it's different. I went to a Snoop Dogg concert once.
Oh, dude, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I saw Snoop Dogg with ICP.
Okay.
It was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Pretty good show. That was at the Rock.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of I've seen at the Rock, I've seen Power Man 5000.
Okay.
I've seen Slipknot at the Rock.
Sure.
I saw one of my favorite concerts of all time was at the Rialto Theater.
Oh.
And that was 311 and Deftones.
Yeah.
That was
311 hasn't done anything in a while.
Yeah, but they're still good.
Yeah.
they're still good.
Yeah.
I think the wildest show I've ever been to was Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that dude. I don't even remember who was the opening people at that show. But I just remember sitting I was stage left. Exit stage right. I was stage left. And they did that song Institution. I'm not crazy. And the fucking pit just went wild.
Yeah.
And I was with cousin Jason.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
and I was just like, oh my God, man. Yeah. Holy fuck. And then I remember seeing with if you guys don't know him, Nick and I are cousins. But,
yeah.
But with our cousin Michael and Kobe, I saw Motley Crue.
Oh, nice.
And Head PE was the opener.
Okay.
And that was a show, dude. It was actually at the point still where Tommy Lee would get up in the thing and go upside down above the crowd.
Oh, sure,
dude, that was crazy.
And there's all these people that you want to go see now, but you worry they might be too old.
I'm 36, dude.
Well, I mean, we're talking Becca wants to go see Alice Cooper again.
Oh, I've seen him. I've seen him with Becca.
Yeah.
And
it's just
Korn opened up for that show.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was Korn and Alice Cooper and me and Becca were standing there like, hell yeah. There was this band called Murder Dolls or something like that.
You wonder how many tours these guys have left.
Dude, how old is Alice Cooper?
God, he's got to be 60 or something. I feel like it's something.
Dude, more than that.
Google phone real quick.
He's got to be more than that.
But yeah, you wonder you want to go see these guys because they're these legends.
Stuff that you've always enjoyed. If you could see any band alive or dead, what would it be?
If dead,
alive or dead, doesn't matter.
Well, my dead pick would definitely be an old Pink Floyd concert.
Yeah,
before, middle of the road drugs.
Middle, not quite comfortably numb, but a little bit more
Yeah, when they were in their experimental phases, not when they were so far gone that
what's that one is there anybody in there?
Yeah. Maybe right before the wall was written. This is we have a problem, but
we're still gonna. Mine would be the Beatles.
Sure.
Yeah, mine would be the Beatles. Like at any point, I was like
I can't do math. I just Googled Alice Cooper was born in 48.
40. Just Google how old is Alice Cooper. Like, why did you Google when he was born?
That's what it gave me. But yeah, no, the Beatles would be great to see.
Like right along the time of like Sergeant Pepper's would be a good time to see them.
Yeah.
That's like you were talking about earlier. That's on the far end of doing drugs.
Alice Cooper is 71.
71, dude.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. I think if I was to pick on a live band, I'd really want to go see Wolf Mother.
Oh,
I think
yes.
they're really good live.
We were talking about them earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done anything new in a while.
No, they had some problems with their bassist. They won an award, or he won an award per se, because he was given like
the bassist,
the MTV like bassist of the year award or something, and then like he was just like, oh, I'm the only reason this band's doing anything, and then they like fell apart for a little bit. So, which that's the thing that happens. Like people get they get cocky.
One of my favorites is I was lucky enough to go to OSS 2000. I got to see Pantera, Incubus, Disturbed, Static X.
Yeah,
I got to see all of those bands.
Ozzy Osbourne's another one that like if you could see dirt like
I saw him in that year. But.
Well, I'm saying like if that golden
the golden age,
the golden hour
of like Black Sabbath.
Yeah, like pre Black Sabbath,
Black Sabbath
before.
Sorry,
before that's how you would say Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
before the reality show. After,
right. What would I'm trying to think of like a good just like Ozzy song, not a Sabbath song, like Howl at the Moon.
What's that? Yeah, I guess that's Ozzy.
I think it is.
I'd have made a double think on that one.
I was like, wait a minute.
everything I associate with him is actually Black Sabbath. Like
me too.
Iron Man
Me too.
And,
What's the one? Damn it! It's talking about a train.
Crazy Train?
Crazy
Dog. Yeah, it's literally train in the name. Yeah, no, I think that's Ozzy.
Crazy.
Yeah,
because that's how it goes. I was like, literally, like, what's that song?
And where he's talking about a crazy train.
Is that song where he's like being crazy and on a train?
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine doing these things like just the Hozier tour. Like just as an example, like we saw him in Vegas on like a Sunday, and he performed in California on like a Monday.
On that note, this and that note, like for people out there listening that have no idea what Hozier is, kind of give him because maybe somebody doesn't know who he is.
He's very like folk music. He's from Ireland.
Talented.
He's very talented. Yeah, he's been on like the morning show and stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
He did the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Oh, okay.
But just, like I was saying, he's just like
how do you spell it?
Hozier.
Is that
right? I don't know now. I
had to ask you. Pulls out the Google again.
Yeah, well, it's on my phone. Like I have them on my.
And at the end of the show, we'll have to do something that you and I used to do on the original show. Was that?
Like facts of the day. Yeah, just pull up my phone here. But no, the point I was making was just that, like, traveling like city to city to city, state to state to state, like in such a small time frame. I could not imagine that. Yeah, it's Hozier.
Okay.
For Hozier, but
yeah, check him out. He's a good artist.
Yeah, like even just or the Ozzy tours or anything like that, where like. Hey, we're going to be in California today, and Arizona Tuesday, and Nevada Wednesday. I just can't imagine doing that. Like,
dude, me neither. Well, there's not a lot of artists that really do that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
There's really not. Like, I recently, it was about 4 months ago, I saw the Coffin Cats. I'm actually wearing a shirt that I bought there.
Oh, my God.
But have you ever heard of the Coffin Cats before?
Yeah.
And, like, that show, I saw them at The Rock, which is a great place here in Parts Unknown. And like I've actually seen MC Chris there too.
Sure.
I saw it was MC Chris, MC Frontalot, and MC Lars.
Ooh.
And that was a fun show.
Yeah.
It was called This Giant Robot Kills.
Okay.
The tour was called This Giant Robot Kills. But yeah, like when we're talking about live music, like I've seen like I saw Johnny Winter live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that was like, dude, he was pretty much a zombie on the stage.
Yeah.
He was like probably 80 when I saw him perform.
Yeah.
But and that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I saw him with Uncle Steve and my dad.
Yeah.
So that was a long ass time ago. What else are you listening to right now?
So God, I can't remember the name of the band now. Hold on.
Have to ask.
I I know a lot of it's been Hosier Jaybird. I mean, after you see somebody in concert, like you got to keep listening to that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I do that myself. Like when I see somebody in concert, I kind of tend to binge on their music.
Oh
my
no!
God,
The
beer
Oh
avalanche.
my god! Oh my god! I thought this was or
I literally just dropped a 12-pack, guys, and beers went everywhere.
Yeah,
None of them broke though.
I thought my playlist was organized
gonna
by
open
like
this one.
when I added it.
Oh my God, mistake.
Oh god! You just dropped it. You knew that was going to happen.
Dude.
George Urza is another one I've been listening to a lot lately. I'm really interested to see what he does. He's really young, real talented. I don't think he's found his style yet. Like he's put out like 2 CDs and they've both been very different.
Kind of mediocre.
No, they're both good. But like one is very like more kind of that 80s rock.
Okay.
And when the new one's been a little bit more popish.
Okay.
And so I don't know if like he knows what he
He's
is.
still
yet.
kind of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Coulter Walls?
No.
I'll have to show him to you.
Yeah,
He's in my opinion, kind of like he's picking up where Johnny Cash left off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to show you. He's really good.
Yeah.
Him and like Shaky Graves.
Shaky Graves really
Shaky
good.
Graves is really good.
I'm trying to find the name of this artist. The song is "Don't Fuck with Joe," and
if your name's Joe, we won't fuck with you.
yeah, it's a really I don't want to say it's a good song because it's a song that I enjoy. I do not support the message.
You don't support the message.
I don't because it's a song about like this. It's the guy
It's not a hate crime song or anything, is it?
he murders a lot of people. This guy's like the
Might be up my alley. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the undisputed like lawman of the town. So the whole song.
So
is,
it's okay. I'm following. Go ahead.
and so the whole song is the chorus is he ain't your friend, he ain't your foe. Take heed now, don't fuck with Joe. And all the lines in the song are about like there's this lady running a whorehouse, and he just goes in and just murders everybody.
Whoa.
Because
What's the name of this artist again?
that's what I was looking for, but I honestly like I don't remember the name.
That's something that I would listen to. Have you ever heard of Ghoul Town?
Yes.
Ghoul Town's really good. Or the Butchers and the Bakers.
The Blackwater Fever is the name of the band.
Dude, I'm having fucking Mexican food indigestion.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's not the Blackwater Fever. That's
that might be Blackwater Fever.
but yeah. Then there's another one where like a guy's like running liquor. Like
Oh,
and
really?
So like you can buy liquor, but you can't buy like this like the the
That makes me think of like you don't spit in the
Yeah.
wind. It's like something about standing on Superman's cape or something.
something. Yeah.
Something.
But yeah, he runs somebody over with the train. Like it's
God.
it's great. It's very very folky. Like here's this guy that maybe doesn't exist, but if you mess with him, he's gonna run you over. There's a beer ended up on my side.
Dude, I don't know
of-
how.
I mean gravity, but
Oh, gravity and momentum.
yeah.
But none of them broke. I'm
I mean
impressed.
until you open that one and it exploded.
Yeah, I had a volcano, but I still drank it.
This is turning into science hour. Gravity,
Science.
momentum, volcanoes.
Speaking of science hour,
Yeah, volcano.
volcanoes. Have you seen a Endgame yet?
I have not.
Oh, yeah, I have. So
Okay,
I'm
no
not gonna
spoilers.
do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and just be disappointed that it's 3 hours of in-game spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a joke.
Well, like I knew because I know so many people that are nerds. Like
Yeah.
I knew the story before I even went into the movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, okay, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna be that
Yeah.
guy. I'm not gonna say a single thing that happens. Have you seen the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog?
I saw the backlash.
Yeah,
And if they're gonna change
and
it.
yeah. Like Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah,
Dude, hell yeah.
He's suddenly getting a lot of work.
Well, what's the last thing he did?
Didn't he do some kitsch movie? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No.
You know what? My brain just crossed Jim Carrey and Ryan Reynolds. Which that sounds like
Are you thinking of Pikachu?
I was thinking of Pikachu. Oh man, that's
I'm actually going to see that on Friday with this girl I just met.
Oh, nice.
Well, I told you about her.
Yeah.
She's a fucking rocket scientist, which is crazy.
I was gonna say something about science, and then my brain got totally derailed. Oh, it was the volcanoes. Okay, so this brought me into a this reminded me way tangent, but I thought this would be something that you'd be interested in talking about.
Okay.
So I was reading. There's this all these different theories about why we don't know about aliens or aliens don't interact with us.
Okay.
And, like once we finally meet aliens, what's going to be like special about humans?
Nothing.
Well, and then there was this like train of thought in this theory, and everybody was talking about it that like we are the extreme cases of like survivability. So if you look
Okay.
at things in the animal kingdom, like if a horse breaks his leg, we
Okay.
shoot him because
Yeah.
he's just not going to recover. You break your
You
leg,
make glue.
Like-
but
but
yeah.
if you break your leg,
you don't make people glue.
and we don't make people glue, but we lay you up in bed for like 6 months
We don't
And-
make people glue.
that I know of. But and then you get better.
Soylent Green. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no. But eventually, like you get better. Like you can get stabbed, and you're going to get better. We can chop off an arm or a leg, and
Okay.
you're still a mostly functional human being.
And you're still, yeah.
And that just doesn't happen outside of humans.
What about dogs?
I mean, dogs like have been bred by us too.
Oh, yeah, well,
you know.
okay, you make a point.
And besides us giving them like those little like cute little like wheelchair things, like I mean, the dog still wouldn't survive.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. Okay.
But like a human could feasibly survive with one arm.
Right.
You know, but like a ape couldn't.
No, you're
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
And so, like the theory is they're then talking about like these aliens see us as these like monsters because we have all these teeth that we just tear into things with, and if they don't work right, we put metal on them, and they grow so fast that we have to take a set out.
Right. Okay.
And you can shoot a human, and he's just going to keep coming at you, And we
Sorry, I'm like thinking, oh, well, we're not all John Wick. But,
and like John Wick's are like our propaganda movies that we're sending out into space.
Yeah, right.
But we live anywhere from negative 50 degrees to 150
That's
degrees.
right. Would you say that we are extremophiles?
I mean, we'll go anywhere. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? And so and then they were talking about like these future discussions with like aliens, and the aliens are like, so where do you guys live? We live in the negative 50 to 150, and they're like,
What?
And you're okay with this? And they're like, you have to bundle up. No, I know a guy who walks around in the snow with shorts all the time.
Cody Lundin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why do you do it? And it's just because we can.
Because we can.
And then
It's like, why does the dog lick his balls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like,
sorry.
well, then even like more extremes, like we have so many places where like volcanoes have erupted, and instead of just like being, oh, that's a bad place, we just go and rebuild. We don't learn as a species. And so
We
like
just go rebuild.
yeah, and they're like, the aliens would talk to us and like, well, what about earthquakes and stuff? Well, we don't build the first time for earthquakes.
But the
The second time we do.
Yeah.
And
We
like
make our buildings go like this.
Yeah, they make them shake a
You
little
guys
bit
can't
more.
see my hand, but I'm doing, whatever.
the building shaking maneuvers.
Yeah.
Or tornadoes. Or like technically nobody should live in Florida.
Or Oklahoma.
Yeah, and there's all these places where like you think like that's fine. Like maybe you get a tornado, but like for most species, like maybe just isn't like
You move on.
Yeah,
You
like,
go somewhere else.
yeah. There's nothing else that just lives on the beach that can take a tsunami wave, and then just be like, okay, we'll be back next week.
Well, like think about the houses, like the houses that are built like on the Florida coast.
Yeah.
That when there's a flood, they just leave, and then we'll go.
Yeah, we're just gonna come back.
We'll just come back,
And, like-
we'll buy a new couch.
And then just like if aliens come and that's the thing that makes us different is that a lot of these like we
Does that make us stupid or stubborn or persistent?
or a little bit of both.
Yeah.
There was also a thing they were talking about this was in the context of Star Trek.
Okay.
That what makes humans unique in Star Trek, and that taking this theory that bad stuff just doesn't happen to the Enterprise because it's the show we're watching.
Right.
That bad stuff happens to every Federation ship
All the time.
all the time because we mess with stuff too much.
That would make sense.
And so like the example they gave was like if a ship has 2 reactors. If it's a Klingon ship, it has 2 reactors in case it takes battle damage. If it's a Vulcan ship, it has 2 reactors in case something happens. If it's a human ship, it has 2 reactors so we can go twice as fast.
I love that. I love that.
And like
So we can go twice as fast.
yeah, and like they talk about it a few times too because like if you watch like Deep Space Nine or something, nothing ever happens specifically to the space station,
Right.
and the space station wasn't built by humans.
It was
It was built by
Bajorans.
Bajorans or Kardashians or
Yeah.
something. And so like they're like that's like in this theory like humans are just like so eccentric and we want to go fast and do better and like that's what is going to make us different from all
That's
these races,
funny,
is
man.
that we we're the ones who are going to take 2 fusion cores and slam them together to see if we go twice as
Instead
fast.
of them having to be like a backup.
More
it should-
redundancy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the thing you used to always say? The redundancy, this office of redundancy.
The redundancy checking department of redundancy. Yeah, that's where I work.
Speaking of that, tell the audience some of the new stuff that's coming out?
Oh God. So War of the Sparkers came out.
That's Magic the Gathering.
Magic. They have a new Magic set coming out. It's gonna be one of the most unique ones they've done in a while. It's Modern Horizons. Modern Horizons, yeah.
And this is Magic?
This is Magic. And so, for those of you not in the know, I'll try to explain this the easiest way I can.
For all you normies out there.
Magic's divided in two big formats. The most stuff that gets released is for Standard, and Standard is basically the last like 10 things to come out. When something new comes out, the oldest thing falls off Standard. It's no longer legal, and you can only play the next new, the newest stuff.
Damn it!
Oh my God, another bear
Did
volcano.
it twice. Yeah.
Where Modern is
It's a beer volcano. Sorry.
Modern is everything from like 2,000 upwards. No, it's 8th edition onwards. So it's a huge block, and nothing ever falls out of it. Modern Horizon is going to be a set that skips Standard, so it's a new set that is not legal in the new stuff only format.
Really?
Yeah, it's being specifically made to go into this like secondary format and help them. So
Really?
so it's a little bit different. A lot of people are excited about it.
Well, you and I have been Magic players like since it came out. Like one of my favorites is I don't think they do it anymore, but the slivers.
Slivers haven't been around for a while.
Yeah, but you to give you guys an idea what a sliver is okay, we're like opening this can of we're opening a can of slivers.
Yeah.
Like so if you play Magic, you have a basic understanding of the way the game works. But the way slivers work, okay, how do we even give them we have to, if nobody's ever played the game, we have to give them an idea of like what it is.
Most cards are creatures.
Well, if you don't know, Magic is a card game.
Yeah. And so in a creature, for the most part, generally only affects itself. It might buff other creatures.
Well, we are still getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So Magic is a game where you play cards to where you try to do damage to the other player using the cards.
Yeah. And then you do that with creatures.
Okay, yeah.
Creatures normally do damage. Normally the creature is very insular. They only affect themselves. It has stats. Maybe it has something like...
Well, one way I was like explaining the game to my buddy Josh was there's when you play Magic, there's this set of rules, and each card is a way to manipulate the rules.
Sure.
Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like say like a creature has trample or whatever.
Yeah. And then the big thing with slivers is they all benefit each other in more of like a hive state. Like
exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
If one thing does something, it does it for everything.
It does it for all of them. Yeah.
Or like if you have something like warriors, they usually like a warrior does something for himself, a warrior does something for himself.
Well, and then again, there's what you call creature types, and a sliver is a creature type.
Yep.
Humans are a creature type. Dragons are like anything you can think of as a creature type, and they all operate differently.
I think this this year we got a cat lizard.
Cat lizard. What do you mean?
I think that was its creature type. I think
cat
it's
lizard.
It's like
so it's a cat and a lizard.
And a lizard, yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think it's any good, but it exists.
Yeah.
But God,
well, that was a donk.
Yeah, kicking tables here. What else is coming out? Pokemon just did their big thing.
I've never played Pokemon cards. Never.
For to give it the biggest thing for Pokemon rules compared to Magic rules is there's a lot more rules on what you can't do.
Okay.
And so it's more of a game of understanding what I can do, and then just kind of working within that space. Yu-Gi-Oh had a new set.
I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is really interesting because it's like face down cards and trap cards and blah blah blah. But.
Who else had something big recently? Warhammer just had a big release. Warhammer 40K.
Tell them about Warhammer.
Their Chaos faction just got a big.
Well, if you got to remember, maybe a lot of these people have never heard of Warhammer. So explain.
All right, this is going on the deep dive.
Do it, man. Do it. Give them a deep dive.
So the central idea behind Games of Warhammer is using miniature figures.
Remember how many games of Paper Hammer that we played?
Yeah. They're on a 28 millimeter scale, which means for a standard human, from their feet to their eyes is 28 millimeters. And then everything is scaled off of that. So if a person is bigger, they're a little bit bigger. Tanks are, scaled around that idea. And then everybody will field an army, usually for...
I was actually pretty good at that game. I was actually pretty good at that game.
Yeah. For 40K, they're usually like...
40K is the one I'm most familiar with.
That's their sci-fi version. And they have Age of Sigmar, which is their fantasy version. but their sci-fi version is getting a lot of.
Give them the idea of what the game is. Is like so it's basically
Two armies.
It's basically an army tactic game.
Yeah, so every turn you're going to be moving your army, shooting.
And each piece can move at a different at a different distance to what they are and stuff like that.
Yeah. So every unit has a stat card, basically a stat line of like how far it can move, how far it can shoot,
the damage it can deal out, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's 15, 20 different factions currently. And
I always played the Space Marines.
Yeah, well, I mean, Space Marines are the poster boys, you know.
But they're badass.
Yeah. And then they're rivals, if you will, are the ones who are getting a lot of love. The Chaos Space Marines.
Well, you used to play. They were like bugs.
Tyranids.
Tyranids. They were basically like Starship Troopers bugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big hive mind that benefited each other and ran around and ate people. There's some really cool stuff. Their lore is really deep. Like you can
give them some lore.
Oh my god,
do it, man!
So
give it to the people. They're hungry.
40K lore is just this. It's so complex at this point, but the idea is at 30,000, 80.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, there's like a human comes around who proclaims himself the Emperor of Mankind. Dude's like 9 feet tall and like psychic.
So he's a Nephilim.
Yeah, and he takes over Earth, then tries to create 13 suns that are perfect, but the forces of evil interfere and like fling them off to like the distant corners of the galaxy.
The forces of evil.
Yeah, the forces of chaos.
The forces of chaos.
And
you have to say it with that voice.
Oh, the forces of chaos. And then the next like few thousand years is him going into space, conquering planets, reuniting with the Primarchs of the Space Marines, and everybody, they get them all back together. Most of them, I think they never found like 3 of them, are still lost. And then one of them decides that he doesn't want to follow the Emperor anymore. They have a big heresy, the Horus Heresy. Then that ends with the Emperor being really beat up. Like he basically almost dies. And then that's basically the start of 40,000 is with humanity's leader being more or less dead. Chaos
is that like more or less pregnant? Like you're dead or pregnant? You know, like there's you on.
He's on life support.
Okay.
And his life support is sustained by them sacrificing 1,000 people every day to him.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like,
wow.
Yeah, 40K is so dark. Like they talk about like numbers of people that just die. There's one faction, the Necrons. They're like
I remember
space skeletons.
Yeah, I remember that.
And all their weapons are designed to like rip your flesh from your bones, and so like their lasers.
That's a one way to kill somebody.
Yeah. They're when the laser hits you, it like gets rid of all your like
gets rid of all your
organic
skin.
bits. Yeah. My favorite like story of all this is kind of a tangent. Is 2-3 years ago. PETA sent the guys who make Warhammer a very angry... PETA, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. They sent them a very angry letter saying, hey, we don't appreciate some of your guys wearing fur.
Oh, fuck off.
And there's 2 big things here. The first, which is kind of funny, is they were mad about these guys called the Space Wolves. They're a brand of Marines that wear a lot of like wolf-related imagery.
Okay.
The first part that's kind of funny about this is there's all these other factions that wear like human flesh as decoration,
but they don't care about that.
That was not their issue. Like there's this whole faction that runs around like with skulls and like flesh and like they're not the issue. It's these people with these like dog coats.
Dude, then oh my god.
The part that becomes really funny is
well, you can wear people's skin all day. You can be Leatherface all day. Yeah. But don't be a hunter.
Yeah, don't be. Well, the bigger thing here is there are actually no wolves on their planet. And the reason that this is when they get a new recruit to this chapter of Marines, they stick them with a genetic modifying serum, and it makes them more bestial. And some people react too strongly to it,
makes them feral,
and makes them into wolves.
Oh,
so they're humans that have been turned into wolves, then murdered and worn by their brothers.
Whoa. Whoa.
So you're basically all these guys are actually wearing like werewolf fur for
That's
lack of a better
dope.
term.
That's
and so it's
dope.
like they're not even wearing wolf fur.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like-
wearing werewolf fur. Peter, do your research before you get pissed off.
yeah, a werewolf fur of their brothers who couldn't handle the transformation. So like just super extra metal.
It's pretty darn metal. Dude.
Yeah, like is this kid? No, it's the guy that I went to like boot camp with.
He couldn't handle it, so I'm wearing his.
So I wear his fur. Yeah,
That's
And,
pretty
like,
legit. Dude.
Yeah,
That's pretty legit.
Yeah, that's always that was one of my favorites. There's some really cool characters. If you guys you can find it on YouTube pretty easily. Hell's Reach is a really cool animated series.
On YouTube?
It's on YouTube. The guy who made it actually got picked up by Games Workshop to make an actual cartoon series for them.
Hell's Reach.
Yeah. You have to be ready for a little bit of weirdness because it took him a really long time to animate it, and he got more money in like the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
So the first few episodes are like pencil on paper, like animation. It looks really good. But then like halfway through, he starts getting color. And then like the last third of it is like CG. Because he was just making money like as he was doing this and like realizing
You can't hate on that though.
No.
You
But
can't
like
hate on
if you're
that.
watching it and you're not prepared for it, it is very jarring. Because you're like, what
Yeah.
happened to my show? Why did my animation
It's
change?
different.
But the show's about the planet Armageddon, and they keep getting attacked by orcs, which are basically like fantasy orcs but with guns. And one of the big heroes of Armageddon is this guy called Commissar Yorick, and in one of the fights, he's fighting this big orc. The orc chops off his arm. So he chops off the orc's like power arm that he has, like it's like a claw that is like articulated, and he chops it off, and then now he wears this like orc arm that's like 3 times as too big for him.
That's too funny.
It's so great.
That's too funny.
Yeah, there's some stuff in like this 40K setting is like so serious, but then every once in a while there's just this thing that you're like,
Well, that was one of my personal favorites, just of like the characters that you could like manipulate and use and play.
Yeah.
I used to use a lot of ratlings.
yeah,
That was like one thing I used a lot.
yeah, they're not around as much as they used to.
But they're good. They're good. They're a good piece to play. They're because they're like snipers and they can move a lot more than anybody else.
yeah, than like some of the other like slower units.
So for you guys that have never played Warhammer, there's a little bit of a rundown of what it is.
Yeah. Oh, God, there's so many things out there now to do with like your free time.
Have you been reading any comic books?
No, I have not, unfortunately.
I've been reading the fuck out of the new Hellboy.
Nice.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's written by oh man, I'm gonna catch flack for like even bringing this up and not knowing the writer's name. But it's what the new movie's like based off of.
Oh, okay. How you feel about the new movie?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. I haven't seen it yet. I've been trying to go see it, but it's
Okay.
like it's impossible to find a theater that's playing it right now.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, God, there's just so much stuff that came out like the last few
Well,
weeks.
like over like the last 2 weeks, like Endgame has like taken over all of the slots for like new movies.
I mean, it makes money.
I think they passed like $2 billion.
Yeah,
or something.
that's wild. I mean, that's what happens when you do 20 years of prep work.
I was gonna like totally give a spoiler right now, and I was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, that's what happens when don't say it.
They showed their schedule for the next.
What is it? I haven't seen it.
So they didn't announce any names.
Well, there's 2 characters that aren't gonna be doing movies anymore.
But they know they're doing 2 more movies in 2020.
Probably Spider-Man.
Well, because I think the new Spider-Man's this year, right?
Yeah.
So he's this year. Then there's only 2 movies in 2020,
Ant-Man probably.
and then they have 3 movies in 2021 and 3 movies in 2022.
Really?
God, it sounds like God.
It's not that far, dude.
It's not. It's 3 years away. But like when you're like in the year 2022.
I remember being in high school and like, oh, the year 2020.
Yeah.
What? That's next year. Wait. Where are we at?
2020 is next year.
I was like, blah, blah.
You only have a few more months to use the joke that you don't know where you're going to see yourself in a year
Yeah.
because you don't have 2020 vision.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You just said that.
Uh-huh.
I had literally backed away from the mic. I was like,
It was not ready.
damn it.
God, now I forgot what I was going to say.
Because you made a bad
I had a
joke.
real point to make.
Sing yourself in the next year.
Yeah. I don't know. I was gonna say I feel I'm really jealous of those the kids that were born in 2000. It's just way easy to figure out how old you are.
Well, like, you're not much younger than me.
No.
But we grew up without the internet.
Oh yeah, no, it's
And
wild.
And it's just kind of crazy to. Well, we're doing this show on the internet.
Yeah.
But like to even think about. Well, like you Googled something earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember having to look in encyclopedias
To understand what something was.
Yeah.
There's no Google There was no Google Maps.
No,
there was no chat rooms. There was no.
No.
Like if you wanted to know something, you had to know somebody that knew that from however to tell you.
Well, like we were also in that really like weird age where technology was a thing, video games were a thing, but the internet wasn't quite developed yet. This is just this
like
thing
imagine what we saw growing up and how fast it's moved.
Yeah.
Imagine like the next 20 years.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing that I just enjoy this because you just don't get this anymore, of like these mysteries of like video games and stuff. Like when people be like, "Oh, there's this secret character you can unlock in Mortal Kombat."
You just look it up now,
You just look it up, but like you'd be like, "No,"
or you buy it,
or yeah, no, he's not in that game. Yeah, he is. You got to do this, this, and this. You can't do that, and like you'd have these debates about whether or not, like, you know,
I remember like you were bringing up Mortal Kombat. Because I'm a big Mortal Kombat guy. And like the original, you had to actually figure out a fatality or a special move, like even how to throw the harpoon for Scorpion or the Frost Blast for Sub-Zero. And you didn't tell your friends.
Yeah.
So they couldn't do it back at you.
Yeah.
Like you figured it out and like, hell yeah. Hey, but now it's just, you just look it up and like everybody does it.
Yeah.
But like I remember standing at the arcade, standing at an arcade cabinet, knowing how to do the Frost Blast, and everybody's like, "Fuck off! How do you do that?" I'm not fucking telling you.
Yeah.
Give me a quarter so I can play again, and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But,
Like that mystery is sort of gone.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because we're just kind of circling around here.
Seriously.
Back to card games.
Oh,
and mystery. There's a game that's doing
Card games and mystery.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a game that's doing really well called Keyforge. I don't know if we've talked about this before.
No, we haven't. No.
It's made by the same guy who made Magic. It's made by Richard Garfield.
Okay.
And but the idea is you buy this like 36 deck of cards, or 36 card deck. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
And you don't ever modify it. So you don't.
So everybody has the same deck.
No. All the decks are randomized.
Oh,
They're
okay.
randomized by a computer somewhere. There's 11 trillion decks. And you can't. All the cards have different backs on them, so you can't exchange cards between decks.
Oh wow!
But it's this.
So you can't switch stuff.
You can't switch stuff around, and you don't know what your deck's going to do until you buy it. And so there's this real sense of discovery again of like, what's this?
That's
deck
really
do?
cool.
You know,
That's really cool.
like what is this? What is this guy's deck going to do?
You said 11 trillion.
It's, something wild like that. And so like it's really cool because you go to these tournaments and stuff, and like you don't know what the good deck is. There's no way to know what this guy's playing. Like,
wow.
You know, if you go to a tournament like now and like you see a guy play a black card, like you know what the good black cards are. You know what to expect.
Yeah.
But then this one, like the guy's like, yeah, you play this like card. You have no idea what his other 35 cards in his deck are.
That's crazy.
And
that's
like,
crazy.
So it's really interesting.
Do you guys still at Amazing Discoveries? Do you still host like game nights for like Magic and stuff like that?
Oh, Magic is 4 nights a week. You go
Really?
5 nights. We have something going on every night of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These what do they call it? It's called a draw.
Draft.
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 Tell the people how that works.
So Magic cards come in 15 card booster packs. In a draft, you buy 3 of them. And then you open up everybody sits at a
Land
table.
cards aside.
You set the land card aside. Then you look at your 14 cards that you have. You pick one. Then you take the other 13. You pass them to the person next to you. Then of course you get a stack of 13. You pick one. You pass, and so on. And you do that until the pack's gone. Then you open up your next pack and you go the other way around the table with your passing. Then you do the next pack and you go the other way again. And then by the time you're done, you have, I think it should be like
52.
well, it's like 14 times 3, whatever that is.
I don't know that number off the top of my head.
Yeah, 40 something. Anyway, you have cards.
You have cards.
You got some lands. You make a 40 card deck, and you play.
And a 40 card deck is not easy to put together.
No,
it's not easy to put together.
Yeah, because the ratios and stuff are all weird.
Well, that's like the big strategy is your ratio.
Yeah.
We're back on Magic cards again somehow.
I mean, everything that we've talked about today with war games, miniatures games, card games. Like, there's a lot of people that say there's a lot of luck in them, but I mean, it's a lot of probability. Like, even when you're talking like Warhammer, like, it's all 6-sided dices.
Right. It's like probability.
So it's interesting. Like, there's a certain amount of luck, but there's also these, there's.
Well, you put together your hand.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. You put together your hand.
Well, I mean, I was watching some guy stream the other day. Why he was streaming Magic, and he needed a land card, and he knows how many lands are in his deck. He knows how many cards he has. So he's like, "Oh yeah, the probability of me pulling this card is 48%."
What?
And I was like, "I'm sure that's right.
Probably right."
Yeah, I mean, because he has 20 lands in his deck, and there's 40 cards left in his deck or whatever, and so.
How do you do that math?
I mean, well, it's those people that play poker and stuff.
Yeah.
There's
that's a good point.
There's a 20% chance that you have an ace, so that makes this hand bad or something. I don't know. Well, it was like we were playing blackjack once, and somebody's trying to explain the probabilities to me, and I'm like,
no, not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me. I can't play fucking poker.
Oh yeah,
it's just I can't do it.
I'm okay at blackjack.
I don't even know how to play black. I don't even know what blackjack is.
And you get to 21 or not. That's it. That's the game.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not.
Yeah. No, there's so much like science behind these games now. Like,
yeah.
It's like even when you talk about like poker, blackjack, like these casino games, like
fuck that, dude.
Roulette, and
There's, I've got beer burps, but there's so much chance involved that's I don't have enough understanding of the rules to play the game.
That's fair.
To be like, oh, I'm gonna put myself at chance.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
because I'm not gonna play Texas Hold'em or blackjack or poker because I don't know the game.
Yeah,
I'm. But like I'll take any like poker player and play him at Magic.
That's right. It's just wizard poker. Oh, it killed Keith.
Oh my god, wizard poker. That's what I'm gonna call fucking blackjack or Magic from now on is wizard poker.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Have you been playing anything new?
Video game wise,
anything?
Playing a lot of Vermintide, and
Vermintide.
It's actually a Warhammer themed game. It's set in their fantasy universe. And so, did you ever play Left 4 Dead?
Yes.
Sure
Yeah. Did I ever play Left 4 Dead?
So it's that same kind of mechanic where you have 4 people versus these hordes. But the 4 people are your more kind of adventure-y, like fantasy characters. So you have like a dwarf, an elf, a fighter.
Oh, that's cool.
A mage, and then instead of like fighting zombies and stuff, you're fighting the Skaven, they're called, and they're ratmen.
Oh,
and
okay.
Most of them are like, they just have like sticks and clubs. Some of them have swords. There's a few like special enemies, like they have like the assassin that jumps around. They're smart enough to build technology.
Oh, okay.
So they do have like a flamethrower and a Gatling gun guy. They have one, it's a hook rat, and he runs around with like a giant like man catcher pole. And if he catches one of your teammates out of position, he grabs him and pulls him away from the rest of the party. See, I moved away from the mic, and that doesn't help.
Well, actually, it spoke to what you were saying.
Pull away.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but you're always playing with 4 people, and you're trying to get from like point A to point B, usually doing some kind of objective in between. And it's more so than Left 4 Dead. It has a higher focus on melee combat. Because it's fantasy based, so there's swords and great swords, and so the melee combat is very like really finely tuned. Blocking is really important, and it's also very bloody.
It's also very bloody.
Well, because like the normal like clan rats, like the small ones, I should not hit that. Like if you have like a greatsword or something, you can cleave through like 4 or 5 of them in a swing.
That's dope.
But like sometimes you have to. Like, that's a lot of fun because the Skaven are these, like I said, they're these rat people. but they talk in this sort of weird third-person, doubled-up broken English.
Okay.
So, like, if you hear an assassin, like, you hear him talking in the background, he's like, yes, yes, sneak, sneak. And you're like, oh, that's really, like, at first you're like, oh, it's funny. And then he pounces on somebody and starts stabbing him.
Yes, sneak.
Yeah, yeah. And then, like, you'll hear like the guys with the little man catcher things, or, catch.
That's funny.
And that's just, there's this, it's broken up, like, double English. Like, they double up certain words. Like, they're going to, like, stab the man flesh or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
stab the man flesh.
Yeah, and so it's like their just whole like word choice system is very interesting. But yeah, you're like walking through like a hallway or something, you hear sneak run. You're like, oh, there's an assassin somewhere. And like,
yeah,
and
it's audible. It's not.
Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah,
that's too funny.
A lot of the stuff in the game is audio cued. Like,
interesting.
They have like guys that throw gas mortars.
Gas mortar. Like I wish you guys could have seen my face. Gas mortars.
Yeah, so they have like these big launchers and they shoot globes and they explode into poison gas clouds. And if you hear them coming by them, like rasping in their masks, because they all have gas masks, so you can hear them go.
Oh wow!
And so you can hear them coming, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of it's like these audible cues of like, oh, this thing's coming. And
I've been playing a lot of course, Magic Online. Mm-hmm. And then the other game I've been going through the new or the newest Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay, yeah,
it's called like
not Origins or
something like that, but it's good. It really takes Tomb Raider to a new level.
Yeah,
like it takes like it takes the idea of the story, the idea of the character, and it makes it more like survival.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of feels like remember Resident Evil 4?
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of feels like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Just in the way the game feels.
Sure.
But it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But that's and then for all you guys out there, you're gonna make fun of me. I just recently started watching Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Just started.
Yeah.
I'm on season 2, episode 3.
Yeah.
And I know you know.
Yeah. Well, I read all the books.
Well, the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, but I think they ended like season 6 or 7. I can't remember.
You can wait to tell me off mic, but in the book, who gives the throne?
Oh, so we don't know. That's what I was getting at. The last 2 seasons were written without books.
Really?
Yeah. So there's actually this weird thing because like if you read some of these articles online, there's a bunch of people who are not quite happy with this last season of Game of Thrones.
I'm nowhere near it.
Yeah. And some people believe because it's not under this original writer anymore, they don't have the source material. And in this weird, I guess, like circular logic thing, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for here is. Parallel. I guess this weird parallel. If you've ever watched Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
They did Full Alchemist while the manga was being written, and the anime passed the manga.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so they did...
Same thing with, like, One Punch Man.
Yeah, well, the same thing that's happening in Game of Thrones now.
Yeah.
And so these last 2 seasons of Full Metal Alchemist don't fit the tone. And like,
because there's no anime.
Because there's no writing behind it.
Oh, okay.
And so then they finish, and everybody's like, "Wow, that was really bad." And then they finish the manga, and everybody's like, "Wow, this is how it was supposed to end."
I was like, "Well, no, this came first."
And so then they did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay.
Which is written like with knowing what the ending is.
Oh, okay.
And so they know the ending. So the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is seen as like kind of the better version, because it has the last 2 seasons written by the same people who wrote the first 6 seasons.
Oh.
So some people are wondering like if that's what's going to happen with Game of Thrones. We have these last 2 seasons that have nothing to do with George R. R. Martin, and if his vision of how the story was supposed to end is different than how they're going to end it.
Well, it's like what comes first, chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Pull out your phone. Let's do our. What is it? It was like, I forget what we called it.
I think I just typed random fact into Google here.
Random fact or fact of the day or something.
Fact of the day, yeah. Still got Alice Cooper old up here. Fact of the day. All right. Fact of the day music. Boop, 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 boop.
We used to do that. I forgot all about that.
Okay. This is because they do it as a form of a question, which I really like.
Okay.
Okay, you're not going to know this, but anyway.
Who knows? I might.
All right. In baseball,
No, I'm not going to
Yeah,
know
so-
this.
when was the designated hitter rule introduced?
I have no clue.
On April 6th, 1973, Ron Bloomberg of the New York Yankees became the first designated hitter in the Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, I would have never known that.
Yeah. All right, here we go. This seems a little bit better, more relevant. How far can you see a candle in the dark?
Oh, damn it! Because that's actually what candle power is. It's called candle power.
Sure.
I don't know the answer though.
Apparently, you can make out the faintest glimmer of a candle up to 30 miles away.
What?
I mean, in complete darkness, like that's the only.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
You know.
because the lamp from like a helicopter has 3 million candle power.
So this is kind of a weird topic, but behind our store where we work, there's like a dumpster. We have to go dump everything. But we've had some problem with people like being in our dumpster. Yeah, I definitely like. There's like somebody like just digging through our trash and like it's just vagrants
Trying
and
to
so
find throwing out magic cards.
Oh well, there's also like a flower shop and some other stuff right there. But
Yeah.
anyway, so one of the guys I work with has started bringing this this flashlight that's also part nightstick.
Holy shit!
Thing weighs like 5 pounds, and like it's bright enough that like if like you go from not looking at it to looking at it dark, like it will blind you.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it was something like 3,000 or whatever, like that scale they measure.
Candle power. It's actually
Yeah,
candle
yeah.
power.
And I was like, why? Yeah, because he's so worried about
It's
someone.
like a mini spotlight.
Yeah, that thing is bright. That's for sure.
My phone's ringing in the
Oh, yeah.
background, but anyway,
Oh.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Dinner, dinner.
Bennett. Sure, you think you have time for one more?
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more fact of the day. Okay.
Dinner.
Feels like another question. Oh, here we go. When was New York the capital of America?
What? I didn't even know that it was.
The city and the surroundings came under English control in 1664. New York served as the capital of the United States from 1785 until 1790.
I did not know that.
And it has been the country's largest city since 1790. So
I did not know that.
yeah.
I did not know that.
That's a
Well, Nick, thank you again for joining me for a long time coming.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
you were the original co-host of the show, and it's just good to do it with you
yeah,
again.
man. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you for listening, and say it with me, man. Nerdy Bones, and we're out.
And we're out.